Hi guys, welcome to a new episode on a really boring Saturday for me. But of course, even though it's Saturday, I found something that we have to talk about today for Bitcoin because that will give us direction for the next couple of weeks and months, what's to come for Bitcoin. And we, of course, going to look also in the short term, and we're going to talk about some altcoins and also Ethereum. And if you think that this is interesting, and definitely stick around here, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, like this video, and also activate the bell so that you will never miss out on these important videos as I put them out. And now let's directly get into today's content here as usual. So here on the 1 hourly chart, what I want to point out is that Bitcoin is still held under here this kind of resistance. So basically, if you take out here these kind of wicks, then you see it's more or less still under this resistance here, but it's scratching on to go sideways above it. But what I would like to see is rather a really big break above that downward sloping resistance line instead of just here wobbling sideways out of it. Something else that I want to point out because of yesterday's market session close here is that here in that big wick to the downside, let me make this another color again. Here, that big red wick to the downside, that is most likely the false move that we get every Friday at some point before or after a market close, or some point on a Friday we normally get a false move to trap traders over the weekend. And you see it's happening exactly again like last weekend. We get a false move, the market gets pushed sideways, goes nowhere, and then tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. US Eastern Standard Time, when the market opens again, then you normally get then the reversal move, which will then liquidate everybody that went short here. Because I bet that quite an amount of people went short there when we broke here out of that box that I'm talking already for quite a while about, which is coming in from 29,370 all the way up to 29,475. So we just wicked under it and came straight back up. And I believe that here quite a lot of people got trapped once we broke $29,300 that went short. And on tomorrow at some point we should see another move here into higher levels. Now, what I actually wanted to talk about is that I had a look on Glassnode and wanted to see how is Bitcoin behaving on-chain in the recent days and weeks when it comes to exchange inflows, outflows, and also what the miners are doing right now. Because if the miners are selling, then normally Bitcoin goes nowhere. In the best case, Bitcoin goes sideways, or we go actually down because of the sell pressure that is in the market. And that's why I had a look for you guys on these on-chain data points. So what I can tell you is from the exchange outflow is that overall there is still a lot of Bitcoin leaving exchanges, and that is overall heavily bullish because the more coins are getting taken off exchanges and put into ledgers or Trezors or any other cold storage facility forms, means that people want to hold Bitcoin for the long term and don't trust an exchange to hold the coins for them. And that is also the right thing to do. If you're a long-term holder, you don't want to hold your coins for the long run on an exchange. You want to take them off, put them on a ledger, on a Trezor or whatever, and keep them there until you are ready to liquidate your hodling position that you're holding on these devices. So, and that is not stopping. We see still people taking off coins from exchanges. The last spike was here in November, like a quite substantial spike last year November. That was around the FTX debacle, I can imagine. And then we had here this year, actually in June, there was also quite a high one again. How much was it? Almost 50,000 Bitcoins in total that have flown out of exchanges on the 16th of June, and since then it kind of flattened out. So, but it was more or less recently that we saw here quite a big amount of Bitcoins flowing out of exchanges. When we look here on the inflow, however, because when you look on the outflow, you have to look also on the inflow, then we are also seeing that these coins are not moved around to another exchange, because we have here also declining inflow. So we have more or less right now steady outflow, but declining inflow of Bitcoins. And that is what we want to see. And that will lead later on to an inevitable supply shock for Bitcoin, where are not enough supply available on the exchanges and demand is exceeding the existing supply. So the price has, of course, to go higher to meet the demand. And when we are also looking here then on the Bitcoin miner net position change, you see right now the miners are actually accumulating Bitcoin. They are not selling right now. They are holding Bitcoin. And that is also a really positive sign for me, because it means at these prices right now, they're not interested to sell whatsoever, unless there would be a big flush out in the market. Let's say we go to $25,000 or something, then you would most likely see a miner sell off at these levels. But otherwise, for the last almost 3 weeks, miners are not interested whatsoever to sell. And I hope that this trend is going to be continued, and that we don't have to be worried about miners selling too much coins in the near future. But of course, if we get to like $30,100, $200, $32,000, then of course we're gonna see for sure a spike here in miners selling at these levels, because it is a multi-year resistance level. So when we are then continuing here with Bitcoin, here is still the falling, what means Bitcoin? So when we continue now from on-chain back to actually technical analyzation of the market, then we see on the 1 hourly chart that Bitcoin also wobbled here sideways out of that falling wedge. That is also something that I don't like to see, but I believe that here over the next hours, potentially maximum tomorrow, as I just pointed out, that we're gonna see a move here. So the bulls are right now above the point of control that was controlled by the bears here on the volume profile, which is more or less where we are sitting right now at 29,000. Okay, we are $5 away from it, $400. Yeah, we're basically sitting to the dollar on the point of control. So if we lose it, then most likely we go a little bit lower, but I believe by tomorrow we're gonna claim that whole cluster here to the upside, which is basically just $100 higher, and then we're going to see another attempt to break in direction of $29,700, $900, potentially even $30,000 by tomorrow evening. Also here on the Bitcoin dominance, we see that the Bitcoin dominance is still under this downward sloping resistance level here, but if Bitcoin now goes over $30,000 or in direction of $30,000, I can imagine that we're gonna see here a break above that, and that we could go to 52-53% in dominance before we roll over, and then see altcoins having their time in the sun to shine. And that's basically what I'm expecting if once Bitcoin starts to break here into higher levels. I don't see here in the near future a bigger rejection to the downside. That would be only the case if Bitcoin continues to go sideways and bores the shit out of people by not moving at all. Then I can imagine that the dominance will go a little bit down, because people start rotating again money over from Bitcoin into into altcoins, and then we could potentially see a drop to like 48, the higher 48% level, close to 49. But once Bitcoin makes a decision and starts breaking here higher in price, that will also reflect then in the Bitcoin dominance, because people want to just stay in Bitcoin when Bitcoin is going up. That's it was always like this, and I don't think that this will change anytime soon. Then let's also talk about Ethereum, because Ethereum was one of the trades that I had given you a couple days back already. we are now at the point where we are also here basically in the process of breaking this downward sloping resistance line of that potential bull flag. That's what I would call it. Yeah, you can make the case that this is a bull flag. Let me just have a look here on the technical target for it. So if you treat it as a bull flag, then technical target would be, yeah, at $1,929, exactly where is also a big resistance, a key resistance level in alignment with that. And you see here, big trade all the way up here to $2,128. We are slightly in a profit right now from $1,844. If you took that trade with me together, I'm in that trade. I actually jumped a little bit too early, the gun on that. So I'm like a little bit in a loss, but I keep that position because I still believe that we potentially go all the way up to this technical target, especially if Bitcoin goes in the direction of $31,000, $32,000, $33,000 in the coming days and weeks. In that scenario, I definitely see us going to that specific level. Otherwise, I'm going to say it again. I will watch closely what's happening here at $1,929 and potentially even close my position if I see that we get multiple times rejected from that level. At the second or third rejection, I would definitely start to take profit or have a stop loss like $10 under that level and gonna reassess the situation from there. Otherwise, if I have my stop loss here at that level, if I have traded up to this and we start to continue higher, then I will also just keep trailing my stop loss level either until I get stopped out or until we go all the way up here to the completion of the technical target. So here you can also clearly see on the 4-hourly chart that everything looks like that we are poised for a break to the upside. The MACD wants to flip here bullish. On the stochastic RSI, there's also still some room for the next 4 to 6 hours to move here higher in momentum. And also here the price action tells a clear story that Ethereum wants to go here to the upside. And yeah, that's why I'm definitely keeping my trade open and have no intention to close that trade anytime soon. Guys, that's it already for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it and found it insightful. Let me know in the comments if you want more on-chain analysis. And don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I see you then again tomorrow.